Good evening, Pop.
Right.
What are your thoughts on the increased health and safety measures announced today by the league and the Players Association?
I haven't read them yet. They just got put on my desk, and I haven't read them yet.
Okay. Where do you fall on whether the NBA should have mandatory vaccination, and just your thoughts on general about how society is approaching the vaccination?
Decisions like that, I have full faith and confidence that the league will do what's appropriate and best.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Let's go to Nick Gallo from Thunder TV.
Hey, Pop. Just over the years, what stands out to you about Patty Mills's approach to his role, his job? It makes him so successful and reliable.
He is a very consistent pro. His routine, his approach to the game, the responsibility he feels to his teammates, all of that is what he's all about. And he's done it for a very long time.
Thank you, Nick. Let's go to Mark Medina from USA Today.
Hey, Pop, good to see you. I hope you're hanging in there. In regards to the health and safety protocols, how have you approached things this season when it comes to tweaking practices and shoot-arounds and meetings, and what have been the challenges of trying to navigate through all those things?
Like most of us, I'm sure, err on the side of being conservative and, overly cautious, of course. But it's been difficult in a cultural sense where things that you're used to doing, you can't do as well anymore. Bringing people into your program to speak to your players, having team meetings where you can get together and talk about things other than basketball, breaking bread together in certain situations on the road where you get your meal and you go back to your room by yourself. So camaraderie-oriented, cultural-oriented activities have taken a back seat for all of us. And so, it's a little bit more difficult to feel the group, to get them where you'd like them to be, as far as, respecting each other, falling in love with each other, wanting to play for each other. They're going to do that, but we all do things to try to enhance that. And those things have kind of gone by the wayside to a pretty large degree.
Thanks, Mark. We'll go to Tom Petrini from Kins 5.
Hey, Coach. Last time around, you mentioned the prospect of the 25th Amendment, impeachment. I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on the last couple of days as we're heading toward what's looking like more bipartisan push for impeachment tomorrow?
Well, I don't know what you expect me to tell you. I'm not in the Congress. I'm a basketball coach, but as a citizen, what we all watched was horrific, and we all saw the lack of concern and incompetence on the part of our president, which is really sad. And he is what he is, but what that does for our democracy and our country and our standing and our credibility, let alone the safety of all those people in the building, is just enough to fry your brain. Just something that you can't even conceive of. So to see people like Liz Cheney come out today and say what she said really warms your heart that, she's a Republican. Trumpism is a cult. She's a real Republican. I'm a Democrat, but her values are just as important as my values. And that's what you talk out. That's what you compromise on. But crazy nuts, whack job, lies, and conspiracy theories have gotten us to this point. And it would be laughable if it wasn't dangerous and sickening to watch people like McCarthy and Meadows and Hawley and Cruz talk about we shouldn't do an impeachment because that might be divisive. I mean, it's hilarious the level of hypocrisy that they will reach and the shame that they would not feel. And as I said before, they just think we're stupid. They're so full of themselves, so full of hubris, that they actually think that a sane person is going to buy that argument. So the fact that there'll be an impeachment beginning tomorrow is the least that we can do, because I don't have a lot of faith that the 25th Amendment is going to be invoked. But this impeachment will say a lot. And if anything, it will bring people together rather than be divisive, because it will bring people who have thought a different way and realize what Trump can really do and who he really is. So I'm all for it. I think it's a good move.
Thank you. Let's go to Jeff McDonald from the Express News.
This is probably another question that might be unanswerable due to the COVID regulations, but has DeMar given any indication about when you might expect him back, or how long he might need to be away?
If the situation stays the same today and tonight, I think there's a good chance he's going to fly back to us tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks.
He's in a real difficult situation with his dad. So we want him to stay as long as he has to. But at this particular point, he thinks that might be the appropriate thing to do. But, that could change.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Jeff. We'll wrap things up with Melissa Rowland from Fox Sports.
Hey, Pop, before Trump, has any other politician inspired you to weigh in so heavily on politics, or is that just a special honor reserved for Trump?
I never planned any of that. I just, the day after the election, when people interviewed me, I said he was unfit for a variety of reasons. And even the people who've supported him those 4 years knew he was unfit. They said he was unfit, but they chose to sell their souls for power and prestige and money and position. And this is where it's gotten us. They're just as culpable as he is. He's the head of the snake, so to speak. But they're just as culpable. They promulgated the lie and got his supporters to believe in the lie, a lie that they didn't even believe in, but were willing to use. Shameful.
Thank you, Coach Pop. We'll see you after the game.
Okay.